Om Shanti, everyone. Welcome to your pause for the evening, your time with yourself, with your loved ones, with me, with Baba, with the universe, with the destiny. Welcome to your moment. This is the Brahma Kumaris Next Normal, our alternative to the meditation museums. I remember that, it was in 2019, I think we had organized at least 300 events at the meditation museums. And 2020, how many programs have we recorded, Santosh Bhai? Almost 1,000 in 2020. And 2021, I don't even know. We have discontinued the Wise-ish, but we're upgrading it, and so there are different productions. But I don't know how many of you know that I do a new show out of India called Where East Meets West on Epilogue. It's being distributed by Epilogue, and it's in collaboration with American Meditating Radio. So I sit and I have conversations with some of the most profound, beautiful folks from India. And we look at what are some of the gifts and the talents and the values that they bring to America and to the West, and how can we bring the two worlds together to create a golden aged world. So feel free to check it out on Epilogue or on Spotify, Where East Meets West. And I think Antonia can put that in the comments list as well, a link that you'll be able to follow if you'd like to. It's a wonderful show. Actually, you won't get the show here. You won't get anything like that here because it's a completely different platform. And I can't be more thrilled. I think it started on International Women's Day, March 8th, around that time. And so please stay tuned. We've got a whole bunch of incredible people coming up on that segment. And as you know, we are now moving into retreat mode. We have the fortune of a new mini retreat center. And I was told not to call it a mini retreat. Don't call it some retreat center. So I was like, okay. So for those of you who used to come to the Meditation Museum in Tysons, we are closing that branch and we are transferring the installations to the retreat center. So we will still try to create some element of the museum vibration as we move into the space. Today was a beautiful day and many of our friends or family members went out. They worked on the garden in the space, got the mulch and the flowers and blew all the dirt and stuff. And we had Carlos Marco, who is our contractor, who met into an accident. He's an angel. And I'd like all of us to send our blessings and love to Marco. Marco's biggest heart and feeling was, I'm going to make this God's home. He's like, he walks around the place and he goes, this is God's home. This is God's home. And he just wants to work in it. He wants to make it the most beautiful God's home. And then he met into an accident. So he literally came out of the bed to come to Om Shanti Village to see what's going on and how he can help. So he had his brother and a few guys come to help with the painting and stuff. And yesterday when we met, it's like, if it's going at this speed, there's no way we'll be able to really get what we need to get done. Today he had the demolition crew. He had folks that are clearing up the space. So now we're going to focus on creating Baba's meditation room. And then we'll have a nice library that is already there in the home. And now we'll just make it a library come sort of a meeting room as well, if in case we have to host particular private meetings. And movers came, gave a quote. Everyone has been just so generous and loving and kind. And I wondered if I went into fear mode when we were told to vacate this place in 2 months, if we would be in this place right now. And if I went into the mode of anxiety. I don't think so. I'm not going to deny that I was just so disappointed with the owner of the space. And even as I mentioned about it's a pandemic, how are we going to find a place in 2 months and not feeling any compassion whatsoever. And knowing the kind of people that we have been. I mean, we've taken care of this place like you would not believe. And he hasn't paid a penny for fixtures. We've been here for 14 years and there was no empathy. And even though that was the case, and I knew that what I have to do is to stay above it all. And I won't deny my disappointment went deep. But then at the same token was my optimism and the power to move forward. From Monday night, Zillow search, Tuesday, realtor, Wednesday, David found the place, Thursday, we found the building and the beautiful family that lived there. And then between that, the coming and the going and what are we going to do, is it, we looked at a few more places, individuals came forward, they gave us options of either getting land, that they would build something for us that would be perfect, options of we can get something better for you with the money that are there. And I was like, The beauty of my relationship with Wen and Wei, that to me was more priceless than anything else. I was like, no, I hear you. If we save 100, 200, 300, 400,000, yes, that's a lot of money. And yes, yeah, we don't have it. Not right now. Yes, we need to save, yeah. But can you put the price tag on a relationship? One of the interesting things I've observed where fear and anxiety is concerned is that sometimes we apply a limited idea, a limited concept, an attachment to a particular situation or circumstance that we're going through. And the energy of that fear or attachment or anxiety is actually the problem. The energy of that perception is what's stimulating the fear. I could have had fear. What are we going to do? And I reached out. The next day, I texted friends. I called our next door neighbor. I told them what happened. I said, do you know any place that might be available? I only have 2 months. Actually, I have less than 2 months. They came up, they started to look, others went here and there. If I had fear, I wonder if I'd have those thoughts. You see, the energy of fear is it's an attaching energy, it's a clinging energy. The energy of fear is that you are feeding an emotion of something that happened to you as a soul in the past, and it didn't turn out the way you wanted it. Perhaps it gave you a sense of loss. Maybe it was traumatizing. Maybe it was very painful. Maybe you were ashamed of a decision that you made and you couldn't believe you did that, and the fear of the retribution of that choice lingers in your personality. And I think about the moment you and I stopped understanding and believing that we are souls, and that when we're soul conscious, we're actually free. The moment that understanding stopped, and we started to identify with our 5 senses, my body, the color, skin tone of my body. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were talking about some relative is with somebody who's in a very Caucasian type culture, and that the babies are going to come out beautiful. And she was saying, mixed babies are so gorgeous. I go, I agree with you. And also individuals who aren't mixed, and individuals whose skin are beautifully dark, and individuals whose skin are beautifully porcelain. There is beauty in everything that we choose to see if we see it from a soul perspective. But the moment we look at each other with the energy of attachment or with our five senses, we are feeding the fear that you might not like me because I'm a woman, the fear that you won't accept me because of the color of my skin, the fear of, well, maybe because I'm partially Indian and African, you're going to think that I'm not good enough. Do you see how the attachment changes the energy and the vibration of how I'm supposed to be loved or accepted or appreciated? It's interesting, isn't it? So people ask me 1,000,000 times over, where does fear come from? Inside of you. It's that moment we stopped recognizing and believing, I am a peaceful soul. I'm a pure soul. I am immortal, eternal, imperishable. I can never die. I cannot be burnt, and I cannot be cut. I am energy, and I go on and on and on and on. And the moment the consciousness changes and it starts to identify more with very deep feelings, but I'm this body, I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm gay, I'm straight, I'm Indian, I'm American, I'm black, I'm white, I'm Christian, I'm Jewish. Fear. And you become anxious if you feel it's being taken away from you or being taken advantage of. The fear of losing your job. Why? The element of loss. Why? You think that the job is it. That this is it. I don't know how I'm going to survive. To be fearless is to be loved by God. Not only do you love God, but you have the courage and the purity to accept love from God. That's the big thing, you know. You and I can give a whole bunch of love, but do you have the capacity to receive it? Are you able to receive love if it's coming to you with no conditions? And the only effort or the only agenda God's love has for you is to see you shine and to be 100 times better than you are for yourself. I'm in the mood to do a nice little meditation and to have my beautiful Sister Jenna come up and share her wisdom for a few minutes on fear and anxiety and how we actually cope with it, especially in these times. Enjoy.
I'm going to say something quite controversial, and I don't mind. I think that, in fact, when you create an external system that you think is going to make life more secure for you or your loved ones, your children, and so on, you're actually inviting violence. I remember a woman in South Africa again during the days of apartheid, and she was a woman of color. She said to me she was given a job in a hotel, and after she'd accepted the job, the hotel manager, at that time in a different colored costume, white, gave her a gun and said to her, "You're going to be walking in the streets at late hours because of the work that you're going to do here. You should keep this for your safety." And she looked at him and she said, "I think that's actually going to create the violence that I would rather not have." And she refused to take the gun. He was quite surprised, but he, of course, accepted. And she was fine. She was safe. And so somehow the vibration that I generate, in which I think I'm protected, but in fact it's a signal of great fear. And so it's like a very gross example again, but a dog smells your fear, and so he's more likely to attack you than if you send out a vibration of love, and he'll come close to you and there won't be a problem. And so if I'm thinking that this may happen, that may happen, and the other may happen, which many people are at the moment, I'm told that one of the fastest growing businesses is that of security systems. But if I'm doing all of that, my mind is actually trapped in its own fear and may even be generating more violence. There's another way to do it, and that is to know that if I do that which my inner moral compass is telling me is right, then the goodness of that is going to protect me. And if I also know that the power of love can be my protection, then I'm going to allow the inner awareness of love to generate more and more power, so that that power of love can actually protect me. And can you imagine what a life of a child is if the mother is afraid and keeps saying, bolt the door, do this, do that, don't go out, mustn't go here, mustn't go there? It's like caging the child, putting him in a prison. What sort of adult is that child going to become? Not a very healthy person. And so I think that inner peace, inner sanctuary, that inner protection of goodness and love is the strength that we can all tap into. And that truly is going to be the protection in which I really don't need to be afraid. I don't need to worry about what the future holds. The future totally depends on my present and what's going on at this present moment.
What is going on for you at this very moment, and are you taking care of your inner sanctuary? I think Sister Jenna hit it on the nail. So I'm going to share some of the 365 days of wisdom by our beloved Daddy Janki. I thought this is going to be appropriate for today. And it's about the value of courage. The one who has the power to face situations with courage will be free from tension. So it is natural to feel worry or tension in a difficult situation, or to run away from the situation altogether. Although this may work for a short time, it is not a solution. We have to draw upon our inner courage in order to meet the challenge head on. When we do this, we often realize it is not as bad as it first appeared. Here's an application to stimulate more courage. Courage drives out fear and negativity. So where do you pivot to? Do you go into the fear factor? What's going on with me? What's happening? What did he do? Why did she say this? This is like this, that is like that. Or do you pivot and go, wait a minute, I have a choice here. Do I believe in this? Or do I use a decision that I think will be taking me to a higher dimension? So courage drives out fear and negativity. When I can face every situation with courage, I will no longer encounter difficulties. Do you hear that? When I can face every situation with courage, I will no longer encounter any difficulties. If I will become free from tension and better able to tackle anything that life throws at me. Did you all like that one? I mean, think about it for a little bit, huh? That situations are going to appear. What was it? I was talking to Sister Wadi in Miami today, and Sister Wadi was saying, I just don't know how you did this in 3 weeks. I said, I didn't do it. I just kept my heart and focus and clean and clear. And these, my 3 daddies, Baba, all of your love, destiny, time, they all did it. And where so many people would kind of have this reservation, or there were some people like, oh, there's no way you're going to be able to close on a deal or whatever. It was the daddies' love and their subtle vibrations and blessings, God's light, the Supreme Being, Brahma Baba's love, whose picture is behind me, and all of your love. And I think my only responsibility, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Everything will work out. It always does, for the better. The initial beginning of like a situation that doesn't seem to be turning out the way you were expecting it, Baba used to always say in our teachings that there is benefit in every scene. And he would always remind you, if it's not working out the way you think it's supposed to work out, pivot, go into this direction of consciousness and say, but there is benefit in the scene. Just before I came on air, Santosh and I were having a discussion. If you don't know who Santosh is, he's the magician behind all the technical stuff and the camera and audio. And we had a conversation about something, and he just said one thing that made sense, that I was kind of going, and you know this? And he was like, you can't. And I just said, whoa, I caught it. I just allowed myself to take in what he was offering me, which was a solution. And he was offering me the answer to what was really going to take place. Somebody with courage will not listen to what feeds their fear. Somebody with courage will attract other people who too are courageous. Someone with courage will turn to Baba, will turn to God, and will continuously recognize God's got this. Because God's love and Baba's love is just going to keep making it all unfold and work out just right. Fear isn't real. Just sit with that for a little bit. And feel free to write down tonight, how many things are you afraid of? I'm thinking about lizards, and if I see a frog, I'm like, If I go into the water, I always think maybe there'll be a jellyfish or something in the water is going to bite up my toes. But why? Why would I have fear of that? And it's an illusion, because actually it's not there. It's just an emotion, something from my past that I'm carrying, that when I walk into the unknown, I start to bring with me what is known, even though it's unknown to me, but I bring what's known was something from my past that was tragic. And I think it's going to repeat itself. Generally, it doesn't. My understanding of my walking with fear comes that I have performed certain actions and I've made certain choices and they were naughty, and I feel that somehow, some way, it's going to come back at me, and I better be prepared. And so what I'm saying to you is, even if that is the case, talk to yourself, talk to God, ask for forgiveness, release it. What is true? You are an immortal, pure, powerful, peaceful, eternal, and imperishable soul. And that's a fact. There's nothing more you need. When you can walk with that truth, you're fearless. And that energy will start to even send that vibration into your aura, and it'll just be different. It'll just be different. All right, well, let me give a shout out to the gang and see who's on today. Did you all like today's sharing? Very, very easy and simple, right? I mean, why do we keep thinking of what hasn't happened? Or why do we get addicted to the worst thing that could possibly happen to us? When all I have to do is just check and change, go, wait, if I keep thinking that, then of course that vibration, I'm going to start to believe in it. But if I could think about what's connected to the soul's immortality, eternity, purity, love, power, can't I be patient enough to recognize that there will be benefit from that? I think so. I think there'll be a lot of benefit. All right, so team, Om Shanti, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're listening from today. Nancy O'Neill, Om Shanti, and Ranju, Sabina Shreta, welcome. Praveen Bhai, Om Shanti. Kailash Ben, welcome. Oi, it's been a long time. Susanna, Diraj, Fatima, MW, Parveen, Louise. Om Shanti, Louise. Such a special affection for you. Alika, Om Shanti. How are you? Doing a lot? Alika has been doing so much, everyone. She's got this program that she's working on with boxing. Her son has been practicing boxing for a while, and she's pushing a new idea and a new concept. So we want to give her unlimited support, and whatever it is that we can do to assist you to Alika, please tell us. Please tell us. Denise, Om Shanti. I called you today 2 times, but you didn't pick up the phone. So hopefully everything is okay. So if you get a chance, feel free to return the call. Yes, Vibai, Om Shanti, Carleen, Minakshi, Bharti Ben, thanks for coming to work on the garden today. Was it fun? Did you enjoy being in the garden today at the Om Shanti village? Did you like it? It was so cute. I wish I could show you the pictures online. It was just so cute to see Akshay and Gitanjali and Nagrashi, and everyone everyone is just working with so much love. So much love. We're going to have the inauguration on June 10th and June 12th. One will be for the Brahma Kumaris students, and then the other one will be for all of our friends and students as well, but on June 12th. So save that date in the calendar so that we can celebrate together online. And it'll be with our president of the Brahma Kumaris, Sister Mohini. So it'll be blessed by her vibrations. So Rashmi, welcome, and glad that you all could come. So Denise, you were saying so glad you needed this session. All right, good. So we'll talk tomorrow. All right. Alika is telling everyone she's wonderful. I love the family. Yes, I need help, prayer, sponsors, support. Thank you, sister. This is so special. So everyone, connect with Alika. Alika, send them your best connection or best email. If anyone can support you, please do. All right. So our family, lots of love to everyone. I know now it's so short and sweet, right? Everyone has to come on time now at 6:30, or else you're going to miss half the show. When we were doing it for an hour, Santosh and Naveen were telling me the statistics were folks would come on by 6:45, but remember we would do the commercials or the ads before. So it was a habit. Now it's 6:30 sharp and 7 o'clock. So with that said, Om Shanti. Know that you are loved, you are empowered, and know that God's only desire is that you remember Him with so much love. Om Shanti, everyone. Take care, and thanks for joining us today.